Once upon a midnight dreary, while pondering, weak and weary, over a many quaint and curious volume of internet lore, while I nodded, too tired for fapping, suddenly there came a tapping, a gentle snapping at my notification feed. 'Tis a commenter, nothing more, tapping at my feed.
Quote the commenter, talk about more.
Alright, I'll do another video. Can't believe I've spent all this time doing a Raven reference. Like half the words don't even fit properly. Snapping? What? Welcome to another episode of Variety Pack, basically where I just talk about certain things on the internet that are too small for one episode, so I'll just compile them into one. You know the drill, it's been years now, so let's just begin. Chase Melendez has been around since 2008. He mostly uploaded vids of his artwork set to music. Eventually, he would do response videos towards other YouTubers such as Red Letter Media and Confused Matthew, an old movie reviewer I mentioned in a previous Variety Pack. The latter which involved him trying to explain 2001 to him and refute his points.
But here's the rub, Matthew. This is a straw man argument. There is no such taboo. You're making this up. You or I or anyone else is allowed to like or hate anything. The factor in this equation that you are interpreting as a taboo is the liking or not liking things requires reasons. And when your reasons are bad or nonsensical, you pay a price intellectually and socially for those bad arguments. Nothing is beyond criticism here. You can freely hate the play Hamlet by Shakespeare for all I care, but expect to have to back that hate up with some damn impressive reasons if you're going to publish that hate in a literary journal or say it in a crowded room, for God's sakes. Do you see what I'm saying here, Matthew?
Eventually he would end up leaving, then returning around July 18th, 2010, only to disappear permanently 2 days later. Probably to return to his artwork, since his channel was merely just for him to vent. I was actually tempted to contact him via his website, but I don't want to waste his time just to get material for a video hardly anybody will watch. I mean, seriously, how many views is this gonna get? Like, barely under 20? Oh well, whatever. It's not about the views anyway. So online storefronts are becoming the newest trend for game companies. But before everyone and their mothers had one, there was an up-and-coming broadband gaming service by the name of GameTap, established in October of 2005 by Turner Broadcasting, just 2 years after Steam, which had a catalog of over 300 games from various classic gaming companies like Activision and Sega. There were also some exclusive games like American McGee's Grimm, which were later re-released onto Steam. But eventually, GameTap's library would grow up to over 1,000 games in its later years. They would also offer television shows, both originally made for GameTap and other Turner Broadcasting Company shows, such as Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Even though I never really had GameTap, I remember the commercials being pretty good. Even Mega 64 jumped on the bandwagon and made some commercials for GameTap.
Do you guys seriously think this is the best time to be talking about that? He would have loved GameTap.
Unlike Steam, GameTap was more of an online rental service, which if you consider the concept of digital downloads, it's all just a rental service really, but I digress. You basically get access to an unlimited amount of games for a nominal fee. And around September 2008, the service was sold to Paris-based Metaboli, probably butchering that right now, who changed some of their subscription services around a bit and offered new sub-packages. On October 14th of 2010, the American office of Metaboli was shut down and all business operations were moved back to Paris. So that was GameTap. Though the execution was shoddy, it was an interesting if not flawed attempt at another online storefront. And I know this is kind of different from what I'm usually talking about on Variety Pack, but hey, I talked about Sega Saturn Shenmue, so I've been known to go off the beaten path from time to time. Anime reviewers have always been around. It's pretty commonplace nowadays, but back in the early days of YouTube, when anime was just starting to gain traction in the West, Mr. Anime, real name Trey Eric Sessler, was one of the first people to sort of kick off the anime reviewing trend. His reviews weren't quite good. There was a lot of bad jokes and bad audio, but there's sort of this nostalgic charm with a lot of his earlier content. Just some kid from Texas making home movies with his friends. Kind of reminds me of my old high school days. Even though Trey would amass a decent-sized viewer base, things would take a turn for the worse when in 2012, Trey would end up shooting his mother, father, and brother to death. Then writing on the walls of his house, "Why did I do this?" Police interrogations on his motives revealed that he was obsessed with serial killers and spree shooters, like Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, perpetrators of the infamous Columbine school shooting. He was actually planning on shooting up his entire junior high school, and the reason behind killing his family was to spare them from finding out his true intentions. He was sentenced to life in prison on Thursday, August 2nd, 2012, without possibility of parole or appeal. Well, that was a tonal whiplash. I went from talking about an artist to an old video game storefront to a murderer. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Happy Halloween, I guess. I don't know if this was the Halloween video or not. I don't care. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be safe and God bless.